the stream so I could have made a tweet about it.
Oh, well, I can probably. Well, is it up? Is it running? Oh, it's going to record all of this. Yeah, this is going to be for any of you who are for the handful. For me, I'm watching this. Okay. So this is welcome to the first actual night stream of Cackling Carnarium, and we are joined today by Eric from Mancave TV, and we're gonna do a couple of things. We're gonna be talking about EDH, but I guess we'll do, since it's spoiler season, we'll talk about spoilers just for a little bit, the master spoilers, and based on what came out today, the new stuff. Eric, what's your personal favorite of one card? Pick one card that was spoiled today that you liked.
Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna have to jump on Mythic spoilers just real quick because I honestly didn't get a chance to look to see what came out today.
Oh no, I dropped the prop.
So let's see. I don't know if they got. I'm gonna try to go to Scryfall real quick because I don't know if they do their stuff as it comes out.
I'm just gonna tweet out. Yeah.
Man. Man, there's some good cards. Well, Dig Through Time, did that come out today?
That must come out today.
Because that's definitely solid. I like Dig Through Time. As much as I hate blue, I tell people that, but I respect it. But if there's a good card, I will say it's a good card, and that is definitely a very good card.
Oh my god, I'm having it. Anybody? Is anyone else there? Anyone?
I like Seize the Day. I mean, it's a 4-drop sorcery, but I mean, it's still, if you got the mana capabilities for it, I mean, that's pretty solid as well.
I've been mostly I'm mostly impressed with the downshifts in rarity. Like when I saw Laboratory Maniac at uncommon, it warmed my heart. I was like,
oh my god, they put that at uncommon? Holy crap, that's insane.
They downshifted a lot. Actually, they downshifted foil into common. So Pauper now has basically a Pauper Force of Will.
Nice.
It's brutal. It's brutal. But that's the only thing I'm interested in, really, is what got downshifted and where, like, what would actually hit secondary market, because I don't think something like Phyrexian Altar is going to see a big downshift. Like, it's listing in the mid 20s, and while it's not Iconic Masters, Ultimate Masters. While Ultimate Masters is out, might be down there, but every EDH player needs multiple copies of that. Like, yeah. I don't see any way that's going to stay below 20. Just because it's a colorless sacrifice outlet, and you use that to keep your shit from getting exiled. I'm sorry, I'm swearing on this channel.
Am I having that effect on you?
Yes, that's right. 10 minutes in, and there it is.
It happens to the best of us.
It's the worst. Anyway, so basically, let's go and let's see. Did that tweet go out? Did I even get that?
It does look like I have a notification. Ah, there we go. Okay.
There it is. Okay. All right. So basically, yeah, I like what's going on with some of the downshifts in rarity, but that's the only thing I'm interested in, because I don't expect any of these chase rares to actually become affordable in any near future, whatever. I just, like, your modern staples are going to stay. Like, Snappies will probably still find their way back to 60 or higher, and Lilianos will be finding their way back to whatever. Yeah, they're like, even though they've had multiple reprintings in master sets, I don't ever think the master sets were printed enough and open enough to actually, I don't know, I just don't think the volume was there to really offset the price.
I mean, I'll ask your opinion on this, because this was my thoughts on it, and I'll try to summarize it as best I can. Was my thoughts from last night. Me and Jason were discussing, like, basically, you know, number one, we feel that part of the reason why the cards aren't coming down in price is because it's our opinion, obviously, but we feel that probably the vast majority of people that are buying these boxes aren't like the casual players, like, most of us, you know what I mean? It's going to be these people that are trying to flip cards. So they're buying them all out because the MSRP, well, I mean, even if it doesn't hit MSRP, most of them are still well over, for Ultimate Masters, like 240, 260-ish right now, roughly, something like that. I mean, to the average Joe, they don't have that kind of money to just slam down on a box of cards. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you could, and for being a 24-pack box, it doesn't justify the price tag. I don't care what you're putting in the set, because my thought was, if, why I said they shit the bed as far as they could try to help, check the secondary market with pricing by, if you lowered the price, then it's going to, let other people get their hands on these cards, which would affect the secondary market. And you're basing these box prices off of the secondary market, which you shouldn't be doing to begin with, because you're supposedly trying to help the average Joe get their hands on these, staples and stuff.
But they're not. This isn't about helping the average Joe. They're putting their price points in. They're putting different customers in different categories. And I think
it's insane.
I think more than just the price. I think that's part of where it feels like this is for their premium customers.
Yeah.
And then there's the not premium customers. And I think that's where you get some of that angst and resentment. I don't even think it's about the price. I think it's about this is being, I don't know. There's the bad feels there. And I think that's part of where it comes from.
Yeah.
Warlord Hank is here. Yes, I see the sarcasm. Yes, this is very exciting. So
I gotta open up this stream. I'm an idiot over here, and I'm not used to being a guest, so I gotta now open up the stream.
So I'm hopeful that what we see from the master set, this latest master set, some of the commons and uncommons actually find their way into the secondary market and actually make a difference. Like downshifting something like Laboratory Maniac, yes, now you can start getting them for under $8. That's what I'm hoping for. Things that people need in EDH and Pauper, that's where it's going to affect secondary market. That, like, there's an actual demand in the secondary market for a lot of these, commons and uncommons. So there's going to be incentive for people to crack the packs just to get rid of the chaff, because because there's actual value there. So that's my hot take on it so far, and I'm just kind of like, this set really doesn't affect me much other than secondary market, and I'm just waiting to see what else shows up in the lower tiers. But today we're going to talk about actually a deck that I used at a tournament, and I brought Eric on because I know how much he loves this.
Yeah. No.
So here's what happened. I started with Amanatu.
Okay.
And it slowly degraded down to, I had a week to this tournament and I didn't know what I was doing and I needed to simplify. So I wanted to do some kind of, I had stacks and I was going to try and do stacks, and I built stacks around this guy, the Master Thopterist.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to screen share. We're going to actually pull up the list and wait for it. We'll get there. Screen share. Yeah. Let me fix that. There it is. All right. So what we got going on here. This is the list. It's on MTG Goldfish. If you want to go and play along at home, you can go to Goldfish, look up Stacks, look up Johnny Slivers. This is where you can find it and kind of thumb through. Of course, Master Thopterist is in here basically for flying idiots. And then I decided to splurge for this deck. I wanted to make Palinchron happen, and that's where I wanted to do infinite mana loops. And let's see. Let's just kind of thumb through here. The package includes Cloud of Fairies, Spellskite, Laboratory Maniac, Trinket Mage, Trophy Mage, Phyrexian Metamorph. This was an MVP. There's nothing funnier than, casting Phyrexian Metamorph on someone else's Nekazar, and half the table is now on this like massive clock. It was hilarious. Solemn Simulacrum, Muldrifter, Pelican Drake, Teferi, Major Zephyr. Teferi. This guy is great when someone's trying to be cheeky with like suspend spells. Consecrated Sphinx, that's just value across the board. Deadeye Navigator, the one
Navigator's
that
so awesome. I
and
like
so rude. He's
so
the
good.
worst. I felt so dirty playing this deck. Palancron. Let's see. So Dispel, High Tide for the Palancron combo. This is an old school combo from like back in the 90s. You have Palancron, High Tide, and then all your islands make double, and you just loop out. Mental Misstep. This one wasn't in the. There's like 3 or 4 cards that I put in here after the fact. No, this was in there. Mental Misstep has lots of targets in EDH, so it's a great counterspell for just a freebie on turn 1. Mystical Tutor, Opt, Ponder, Preordain. There's your Prosperity. That's one of the. There's 2 things for Lab Maniac in this deck actually for comboing out. So Prosperity is one of them when you go your infinite mana loops. Sleight of Hand. What else we got? Swan Song, Counterspell. Yeah. Too. Cyclonic Rift, the one that I tore through 2 boxes of Return to Ravnica to find.
God, it just makes me think of my old collection every time I start talking about like, RTR block, like standard. Dude, I can't. I don't even want to discuss it. I won't interrupt you. I apologize.
such value. All right. Dramatic Reversal, Hercules Recall, Impulse. Here we got Merchant Scroll, Muddled Mixture, Remand. Yes, there are better counterspells. I know. I don't have Force of Wills or the whatever the things, but I was working with what I had. Telling Time, Capsize, Fabricate. Here we go. Into some of the artifacts here. Lotus Petal, Altar of the Brood, because we're going to do infinite loops of ETBs. Expedition Map, Mana Vault, Pithing Needle, Sensei Divining Top, Skull Clamp, Soul Ring, Cold Steel Heart, Felwar Stone, Isochron Scepter, Thaumatic Compass, Winter Orb, Ashnod's Altar, Basalt Monolith, Bantu's Monument, Hazaret's Monument. This is the other one. This one works really. This is a fun one with Laboratory Maniac, because basically this way you don't have to worry about infinite mana. If you just get an ETB loop going, you can just mill yourself out with this, and then Lab Maniac can be one of the cards you draw and you cast it, assuming you've got the mana. Okay. Usually this deck is going to make lots of mana, but this is another way to do this. Iron Maiden, if you're up against another blue deck and you have to worry about someone else winning on a Laboratory Maniac, you just draw up a whole bunch and then have Iron Maiden kill them off. There's your Static Orb. This did some work. Tangle Wire did some work. Worn Power Stone, Aether Flux Reservoir, a 1-card combo onto itself. Panharmonicon, Smokestacks, Gilded Lotus, Paradox Engine, the other rude one. Let's see, Mystic Remora, Susang, which also did work in a deck that makes infinite mana. This one is like another tutor. Equilibrium, Ristic Studies, Words of Wind. We're going to talk about this one too, because this is like a second version of Capsize.
So Words of Wind is a very good enchantment.
Yeah, this one I kind of cobbled my way through it, and there's some stuff to be done with this. You can, if you need infinite mana, and this deck will do that. So you make infinite loops of mana, and you basically with Sai, you can just make Thopters for days. So you play your Skull Clamp, and you bounce your Skull Clamp. You have the mana, you cast your Skull Clamp, make your Thopter, and with the mana, if you're looping mana, you basically take some mana and you still draw 1 card, but you bounce, everyone else bounces something, and you're always bouncing the Skull Clamp, and you're always making a Thopter, and you always just recast. It's ridiculous. So this is another way to go about doing something like a Capsize, like when you just all the mana, you capsize the board. Mechanized Production for just flavor, and Thopter Spy Network. In the lands are pretty basic, but I've got Coral Atoll. This is one of the original bounce lands, and it's better in a mono color. I had these in the Esper deck, and it was like not working out because you've got these requirements for certain basic lands to actually be there, so that didn't work in the 3-color deck. But in a single color deck, this is good. Field of Ruin, because I just love that card. Lots of islands, Maze of Ith, Reliquary Tower, Soldevi Excavation. This kind of does a little scry thing. This is another kind of double land to get some value off of that Palancron effect. Temple of the False God, and Thespian Stage to copy other nifty things. So this is the deck that I took to that tournament, and it was definitely it did its job, but in the last game, it was Animar that decided to combo off instead. So that took a half an hour for Animar to actually go off, and we made him do it. But we threatened to cut up the winning playmat into 4 mouse pads if he didn't go through all of his combos. So it was a good game, but it was yeah. I'm showing you this deck because we're gonna do this live brew, and let's go into tools, my decks. Let's create a new deck. What are we gonna call this? Let's call this Eric's favorite deck.
Yes. And I'll say though, the build, I mean, just from at first glance, I didn't get to read. I was trying to go through, but I didn't get to read every card because some cards I'm not familiar with. But just from the ones that I knew, I'm like, yeah, it's got some nasty stuff going on there, man.
Yeah, and it was this. Had this weird kind of conundrum. I won the first round, and I felt bad about it because I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I played blue. I didn't know.
I didn't know what I was doing.
I knew exactly what I was walking into, but it was just it dawned on me, like I was thinking about this after the fact. I have been a Stacks player forever. I just didn't know it. I was playing different versions of Stacks. Any kind of resource denial is something I played all the way back to the 90s. I had a red-green deck where I played City of Solitude, taking away the ability to play things on my turn, and I used creatures that would disappear at the end of my turn, like Vyashina Sandstalkers and Manlands. So they never had targets to hit with bolts, and they could never use their counterspells. And I went into second place on a deck with no upkeep because the meta was kind of loose back in 97. So, that's how that went. But like when I got into Commander in 2011, 2012, I had a corridor deck and I was putting all kinds of resource removal. Like things that would manipulate when you could play cards. Right. And that's a stack style. So it's kind of like I'm exploring Stacks and trying to figure it out. And it's very hard because I like playing red and I like playing burn. And this is not it's not my first instinct, but I don't like playing counter spells, but I like to take away your ability to do things.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about. So that's how I try to explain to people. Like, I hate atypical blue, which is counter spell and all that other stuff. Like, if I play blue, typically it's like I like using enchantments and other stuff to do stuff for you. Like, so it's like after you like pretty much kind of, I wouldn't say to the degree of what your deck is, because I would have never thought of all those combos and loops and stuff, but more or less, you get certain stuff out there and they kind of work together, and you don't really have to play your hand because certain stuff that's going on out on the battlefield will do the work for you,
Yeah. So what we're going to do is let's go and get the commander going. Format we want. Commander will play multi. So the commander I'm choosing here will be Vela, the Nightclad. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Vela, Vela is from the Commander 2017 setup. It is 4, a blue and a black. She has Intimidate. Other creatures you have also have Intimidate. And whenever Vela, the Nightclad, or another creature you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. So it's not graveyard, it's leave. So you can bounce things. Anything that's bouncing back and forth can trigger this. This is basically once you get a ETB loop going where something's leaving the battlefield, that is going to be your win con. So
at least it's Dimir, so I can deal with that.
You can deal with Dimir. Oh,
yeah.
I'm trying to find people's the most despised colors and bring them in here. It's just
mono blue would make me want to blow my brains out.
Okay, so I'll go gentle on you. All right, so what we'll do is main deck. We'll put a few pieces in here. I'm gonna go Torp Orb. The Torp Orb. That's a good one. I like that. Add that card. Does it work? This is what happens. Oh, let me go ahead and share that screen so you can watch me mess this up. All right. Torp Orb. What happened here? Oops. There. No. Add card. No. Oh, I got you. That's a blank space. Okay. I wish that would be all right. So Torp Orb. Did I get that right? This is gonna bringing it up, or is going to tell me I spelled it wrong? No, I must have spelled it wrong.
Torpor, Torpor.
Torpor orb.
Yeah.
Is chat gonna help me out? The worst speller.
I know. The sad thing is, so am I. But I'm on Goldfish myself, so I was starting to type it in, then I seen it pop up, and I was like, I think this is it. This artifact creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger.
Yes, that's the one. Okay, there it is. I misspelled it. All right, so we'll get that in there. Torpor orb. What else do I want? Let's do a bubble matrix.
Ooh, I like bubble matrix. Such a good card.
About Mana Vortex. That's an old thing. Yeah, Mana Vortex. Let's go. What is it? Omen Machine. Let's see if I got that right.
Mana Vortex. That's a solid one too.
Yeah, Mana Bubble Matrix. Omen Machine's in there. All right, got that right. Got that right. Anything else? Not click or register. All right, there's Vela. I think I'll put up 10 cards here, and then yeah. Let's go. Orb.
Oof, Almond Machine. I didn't know what it was, so I was reading it. That seems brutal.
Now, I need clarification on Damping Sphere. How, like, as I read that, I never quite get what is that doing? Is that can you still cast? I don't know. I gotta pull this up and look at it.
If a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces 1 colorless instead of any other type and amount. Each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell that player has cast this turn.
So, Omen Bubble, Damping Sphere. So when it said this language, the way they worded this, if a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces colorless. Mm-hmm. So if you tap 1 land and then you tap a second land, the second land makes colorless? Is that what they're saying?
That's how I'm taking it. I'm thinking if they're tapping for more than 2 mana, it produces colorless instead of the color it's supposed to produce.
Fish is asking us if we're almost done. Sorry, man. This is going to take forever. For each spell cast before it. Oh. Yes. This is perfect for here because I think I've got an idea for how to manipulate Vela and make it. Yeah, I think I know what we can do with this. All right, so that's perfect because I think let's do that. All right, let's start with that. Let's start there. So Eric, tell me, what do you think we want to go for next year?
Off the top of my head, damn, I don't know. I'm not the fastest brewer. I'm like, you know.
Is that why your streams are 2 hours long?
That's right. That is exactly right. I'm not quick-witted at all. Let's see here. Oh gosh. So we're trying to just go enter the battlefield stuff and trying to pull stuff back, right? Because of that.
Well, see, if we're throwing out Torp Orb, ETBs are we're talking about things that leave battlefield or die. So there's kind of like a
oh no, never mind. Because I had a card, but I was like, no, that's not Dimir. Oh damn.
Evacuation. That's a suggestion from Fishin. Evacuation.
Return all creatures to their owner's hands.
All right. Let's see what that looks like. All right.
Okay.
Oh, and that's at instant speed. That's pretty sweet.
Blood-Soaked Champion.
Blood-Soaked. Now you were talking about this is like a favorite of yours.
Well, Blood-Soaked Champion. I like it. I wouldn't call it a favorite of mine, but I just like it because how you're able to bounce it.
Activates ability only. So can't block or raid. Return it to the champion to the from the graveyard.
Right.
To your battlefield. Activate it only if you attacked with a creature this turn. Okay. So blood soaked. So you want to go into like a more aggressive kind of throwing things at them.
I guess you could say my mind when it comes to stuff like this, I'm thinking sacrifice and then bringing stuff back, sacrifice and bringing stuff back. So then like I'm thinking, because like I usually go like whenever I do Dimir or usually any type of black, I'm usually like a zombie type player. So I'm usually used to my mind to go straight to like sacrificing and then reanimation.
And Fish is talking about prized amalgamon. Oh, that's right. The zombie. How you feel about that one?
Which one?
Prized amalgamon.
Because you got what the heck is it? The one drop. I'm blanking on its name and I don't know why. Gravecrawler.
Gravecrawler?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go into the all right. Add that card, Gravecrawler. Is that one word? Gravecrawler. Yes, it is.
Oh yeah. I like that one's good because I knew the name sounded familiar, but because the whole Shadows over Innistrad set and those sets, I was out of Magic when that was around, so I kind of missed out on some of these cards, but I do remember this one from playing on MTGO. I got to use it.
All right, let's see.
Shoot, Mr. Williamson's in the house. You know the party's starting
there
now.
He is. Here we go. Yeah, the beginning was rough. You should go back and watch the replay. It's you want to rip your ears off. It's awful. Let's see here. I mean, if we're not going budget here, it's whatever to your heart's content. This is the land of make believe.
It's hard. Well, see, I guess like me, like I'm kind of scatterbrained as well because when I'm thinking Dimir, I sometimes have a hard time staying within concept. Like I'll have like a good chunk will stay within the concept, and then I'll just have other stuff that just kind of are complements, but they don't really like combo into anything, but they have purpose, I guess.
All right.
Because like I'm not saying this is a have to or anything, but just like I just happen to pop in my head because Crank, DDH, and myself were talking about it the other day. An overlooked planeswalker, which is Ashiok.
You feeling the Ashiok?
I mean, I just like it. I've just always liked it. That's just what it is. It's like I'm not a planeswalker person, but like that's one that I've always felt was a solid one for, you know, for there's a potential for some big plays and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, 12 cards total. Let's see. How about we also wanted to, I guess we should probably also talk lands here. Like, what do we want to get? Let's get some lands out of the way here.
Well, do you want to, are we doing just like the typical like shocks and stuff like that and duels, or do you want like lands that actually do other stuff besides, you know?
It's your brew, man. I'm just saying, we organize thoughts a little bit. If we're on lands, let's think about lands.
Well, then I guess you do Watery Graves and Drowned Catacomb. And then, I mean, trying to think what other, I mean, fetch lands. I can't think what the heck the Dimir one is. Polluted Delta, yeah.
They misspelled Polluted Delta.
That's okay. It's one Palooker now, so, you know.
All right, so there's Polluted Delta. There's some classics. Let's see. Where else could we go with this? Urborg, a no-brainer. All right, Urborg the Tomb or Urborg the old legendary one that's Eric's talking about. I think there's two Urborgs. So you got the Tomb, and then you got the old Urborg that just took away First Strike and what's it? Swamp Walk.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm seeing Lake of the Dead.
Oh, Lake of the Dead. That's a very good card. I missed out on getting that card before Spike, and I'm pissed that I waited.
I have one copy. And it's going in
Cabal Coffers, yeah.
Cabal Coffers. Okay.
And saying obviously, you know, all fetch and whatever the fetch lands are, that's what Williamson's saying. Duels, battle bond lands, as well as pain lands.
Do we want to put the Underground Sea in here just for giggles?
We should, why not?
Underground Sea. Jack the price of this deck up to $3,000.
$5 million.
Magic is so expensive. All right. So, yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that right there it's a deck. We're 18 cards in. This deck is over $800.
All right. What the hell?
Oh gosh, gas.
Underground Sea.
Man.
Yes. In one card, it's like 3 times the cost of everything else thus far.
Crypt of Agadim. What's a Crypt of Fish? Has got all these ideas in here. I mean, he's loving this because he plays blue and those.
Oh yeah, see this is why this is why people. my brain's just like putting and farting around here because I'm going
derp, derp. All right, let's look. I want to see what Crypt of Agadim.
All right.
I want to add that.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing this card. Okay. Yep. Tap 2, tap it. Add 1 black for each black creature in your graveyard.
Ah. Okay.
Nice.
Let's see. Those are some fun lands. Let's see. What about? Is this talking lands? How about? What's your? Oh, War Isle Refuge.
I see cycling lands as well, which, yeah, that's a pretty solid idea as well. I agree with that.
Am I spelling that wrong? War Isle Refuge. Something's wrong there.
I don't think it's all one word, unless maybe it is, no? No, but it's not even, nothing's coming up. Like, I just spelled war, space, and then put an I, and I got nothing. That's why. J.
Jawar. Dwar.
Jwar.
War. Add that card. Save that card. All right. Yeah, and that was Dwar Isle. That's one of the early gain lands. Gotcha. Let's see. So I'm thinking, I mean, if you're okay, there's another one. I'll go up to 10 lands or 10 cards I'm talking about. If you're gonna play Mana Vortex, if you're gonna go to the trouble there, we might as well play, Crucible of Worlds.
Okay. and I'll just say, I mean, this is just another artifact that I typically use, like when thinking about blue and stuff, is like you already had in your other deck, is Altar of the Brew, just because, I mean, anytime you're able just to play stuff and make everybody mill, even if it's just 1 or 2 cards, whatever, it's still enough to piss people off.
Yeah.
Because especially it's Commander, so I mean, you could mill out something that they really want, so that,
All right, so let's talk some mana rocks. What are your favorite mana rocks?
Oof, well, seeing as I've never really been able to afford the really good ones, I've never really paid attention to them. I know it sounds bad, but it's true. It's like, I sound like a snob, but it's just like my wallet just, because I unfortunately sold a boatload of old cards that I had years ago from when I used to play as a kid during the Tempest era and stuff. But I mean, it's gotten to the point to where, like, if you haven't played, like, you and Williamson since, the dawn of time, can't, I can't afford to play like Legacy and stuff like that. So I just don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah, I hear you. It's easy to kind of lose track of some of the, it's easy to get lost in the fact that you can't afford certain cards and then you stop thinking about them because they are so unattainable.
Right.
Like, I shuddered when I looked at I had a Grim Monolith once. I was dumb back in 2012. I thought I'd cash out some cards and put some of my money into sealed product, which was so stupid because you do that in Return to Ravnica. And I offloaded a few like little reserve list nuggets like a Gaia's Cradle and Yep.
Oh God,
Feel
why?
the sting. Feel that sting. Gaia's Cradle. I had Grim Monolith. I had like I had Mox Diamonds for kick. I had like 2 Mox Diamonds that I'd had since the 90s. And
oh my gosh.
I was dumb.
The only
hella
dumb one that I could have that was a bad reserve list one. Excuse me. That I don't know what the price is of it now, but I know it's way more expensive than what it was when I had them, because I had them when Stronghold was new. Is I had 2 player sets of Sliver Queen because I just absolutely loved slivers back then. I mean, I still do, but I had 2 player sets of it, and you know, just when I quit when I was 14. And I just gave all my cards to a buddy of mine. Like, I didn't even cash out or nothing. I was like, here, you can have them. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me?
Oh, Cody's coming in with all of the we got some budget options here. Dimir Signet, Dimir Locket, Miss Vane Border Post. I like border posts are fun. I like border posts for like it's a turn 1 rock. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Even though it comes in tapped, I can live with that. Let's see. Well, tell you what. Soul Ring is just everywhere, so we can at least swing that.
Yeah, that's always a good one.
I'll add the Soul Ring. And then let's see. I'm looking at this list and it's like Underground Sea. Oh God.
It happens.
So I'm wondering, like, that the handful we got here in the chat, how do you feel about that Dimir Locket? Like, how do you feel about the Locket series? Do you feel like it's actually worth it? Do you think it's any better? Is it worse than a Clue Stone? Is it better than a Clue Stone? Like, what are we thinking here? Oh, Altar of Dementia. I love that card.
I think it's solid because you got the option. I mean, yeah, you got to pay 3, but it is you can get mana out of it, and then you have the option to sack it to get 2 cards. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's bad.
I was always just kind of put off by that. You have to pay. You get to draw 2. That's good.
Yeah,
but you got to pay 4 hybrid to make it all happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't. It always felt like it was like right on par with a Clue Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think they were on par with.
Ooh, Altar of Dementia. Yes, Mr. Williamson hit the nail on the head.
All right, we got the Altar of Dementia in there. Let's see.
I wish I had my freaking list, because I actually had a Dimir Mill deck that I made using the god from was it Born of the Gods, the Dimir god?
Commander Sphere and Thought Vessel. That Thought Vessel, see, because I don't own it, Thought Vessel's not like actually on my radar. But I gotta get those. I gotta get a Thought Vessel. All right.
Oh,
you feeling like a Thought Vessel, Eric?
Let's see. Yeah. We'll say yeah.
No pressure.
We'll say yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I knew it sounded familiar, and I'm like, yeah, of course.
Some good spicy stuff there. Oh, the Altar. I love the Altar.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Things going away. How do you feel about Blood Artists and Zulu Park Cutthroats?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes.
Right.
Those are always some good creature staples to have in there for those types of things. I absolutely love them. I'm trying to think, and you could use what's the other one? The 4-drop Vulcan Wrath.
Vulcan Wrath Noble, I think.
Yes.
Throat and all right.
Just trying to think in my head here. because I'm trying to also think outside of the box because I know I have certain cards that are like are my go-tos, but I don't want to keep just constantly say the same stuff over and over again.
No, I mean, what are let's hear about them. Like, tell us about the go-tos. What draws you to them? Why do you lean on those?
Well, like, you know, certain vampires, zombies, and you know, it's all around because the same stuff. It's like the enter the battlefield, leaving the battlefield, like the blood artist. Like I use blood artist in damn near every black deck, and then I'm trying to think of the vampire. I'm blanking on a name. I'm terrible at remembering names at times, and this is one of them.
What does it do?
God, it's the one where I believe it's whenever I can't remember if it's when you cast a creature, your opponent loses 1 life, or if it's when they cast when they lose a life or something like that.
Oh God, I know what you're talking about too. It's
driving me nuts, but like I use that. Oh my God, I'm actually.
What's up, Biker Boy?
This is gonna piss me off. So I'm actually gonna pull up MTGO right now on my computer because I'm just so aggravated with like my brain farting right now because I'm like, I have these deck builds and I'm like, it's driving me insane.
Later, Young Corpse. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us.
Later on, Mr. Corpse. And what's happening, Biker Boy? What's up? He says, "Morning, peeps." Yeah, it's morning for poor Biker Boy.
Is that the UK? Is that what we're talking about?
He's in Greece.
He's in Greece. Oh, okay. So Greece is a little further ahead than London. All right. So it's like must be what 5 or 6 in the morning out there.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some time zones for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the few times I was like streaming in the middle of the day, I thought maybe I'd get some Australian friends in there. It didn't quite work out.
It happens to the best of us.
I think I caught them after lunch.
Almost 5 is what he just said. 4:48. Oh, consuming aberration. Duh. Yes, that's another go-to. See, that's what I'm saying. Like because when I go think of Demir, I love consuming aberration. So good. I'll still never forget how I won a game with Elixir of Immortality, and when consuming aberration was in standard. I'll fast forward through all the dramatics. It came down to, I should say, I started the match with a 1-land hand because I was just wanting to get out of there because I was having a bad night, and this dude had aberration and was ready to just. He thought he was going to just take me out. And mind you, Elixir was sitting there since turn 1. And then the dude ends up trying to attack. And then I popped off Elixir and then, told him that the aberration was dead. And he goes, "What do you mean it's dead?" I was like, "I don't have any cards in my graveyard, dude." He was so mad.
Oh, man. He must have had a lot of salt left at the table there.
Oh, he was not too happy either.
Oh, my God. That's too good. Spell each opponent reveal a card from the top of their library until they reveal a land card and puts those. Wow, that's rough. I know that. I remember that was in the. I think that's one of the precons. I think it was in the it's one of the 2011 precons, and that's where I remember seeing it. Is that from Consuming Aberration? Is that from like the first Ravnica installment?
It's from Gatecrash.
It's Gatecrash?
I believe so. And I think that was the first and only print, I believe. Somebody can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I thought that was it.
Huh. Zadok would be great, too. Okay. Oops. Eric's thinking Zadok would be a good way to go. The old school. Zadok. There we go. Lord of Secrets. Wait, what is that set symbol?
Which one are you looking at?
I'm looking at Zadok here, and it's like it's this new print. Is this an online set or is this something? What is going on there? Oh, whoa. Yeah, I don't recognize the set symbol.
Saying Guilds of Ravnica guild kits.
Oh, that'll do it. Okay. That's why. All right. Now I get it.
Okay. So now, well, let me try to pull up some stuff. Now, keep in mind though, like especially with Commander, I'm definitely more of an Orzhov player, but I do have some stuff that I can pull up. Now, if I can just get it to load up, that'll help. Okay, let's see here. Blood Chief Ascension I like to use because, like in Commander, it can typically be a drawn out game. So if you're able to get Blood Chief Ascension out early enough, and just once you get the counters on there, because you need three counters, and then after that it's just
that's a rough one. Once that gets online, that's such a rude card.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Bereavement. Whenever that's for green, but whenever green creature dies, its controller discards a card.
Bereavement.
And Liliana's Caress. This is like this. I'm just reading off cards because it's like I said, this is like my particular style is all, because I bounce between hand control, graveyard, and creatures, and life gain, life loss, mill, kind of a hodgepodge. All
right.
Waste Not. That's a solid one as well. We are making a deck. Johnny is forcing me to make a blue EDH deck. So luckily for me, though, he went Dimir and took it easy on me instead of making me want to take my own life live and go mono blue.
Goes to show how little I knew about Eric by giving him an extra color outside of blue.
Oh, yeah.
Daisy.
That's okay. I mean, this one doesn't have to go in, but I'm just going to just throw it out there just for a creature is Sig River Cutthroat. It's just there for extra card draw. And I had a goofy untap combo, but I don't have it in this deck, and I don't think I have the build on MTGO, but I had it on paper, and I can't remember what it was because it was years ago now.
But wrong. Like, how do you? Is it
SYGG, comma, and then River Cutthroat.
All right.
But Siren of the Silent Song. I'm not saying to add it to the deck, but if there is a way to add to the deck to be able to like untap it, to tap it multiple times to make your opponents discard multiple cards, then it's very useful.
Tap it to untap it. Wait.
Like if you have something to tap to untap the Siren to then tap it again, like what I mean.
You know what? Let me pull up. What's another way to do this? Let's do.
And I can't remember what the hell I did, but I used to do something to tap it down, and then I'd use oh god, I'm trying to think what the hell it was. I'd use to untap it, and then I would be able to swing. Well, if I was able to swing with it, and I knew that my opponents didn't have any blockers. So wait,
what does that do? It
has the inspired ability of whenever it becomes untapped, each opponent discards a card and then puts the top card of their library into their graveyard.
And it's a Siren what?
It's a Siren of the Silent Song. It's a 2/1 zombie flying siren. It's nothing.
Siren of the Silent Song. Okay. Inspired, whenever it becomes untapped, each opponent discards a card, then puts top card of his or her library into their graveyard. All right.
Like I said, I'm not saying it's like OP or anything like that. It's just kind of like just a little supplemental thing that I just try to use on a budget side of things, and people tend to not really expect something like that.
How do we manipulate that?
Like I said, I'm blanking on. I can't remember. I know I would use like Oh, what's the enchantment where you could Springleaf Drum? That's what I'd use. I use Springleaf Drum to tap it. So that way I knew if in case I had blockers, I would tap it for mana. And then I can't remember now what I was using to untap it.
Oh, so okay, I do have a piece that you would be hilarious in here. So here's Dramatic Reversal. You stick this on an Isochron Scepter, and then you just keep untapping all on land permanents over and over and over and over. You just need a way to tap down the Siren.
Right. So then you could just use the drum. So you could use the drum to tap it down for mana, and then just use the reversal.
A couple mana rocks to get the reversal going.
Mm-hmm.
Want to do that? You want to put that infinite loop in there?
Yeah, we could do that. That'd piss people off.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what the hell? And be like, that's right.
Dramatic Reversal.
Psychic Corrosion. Yeah, that's a definitely good mill one as well.
Psychic Corrosion? Ooh.
The only problem, like I said, the only problem with a lot of the cards I'm going to mention, they don't go with the commander. That's the problem. Like I know what you were wanting to do as far as our win con goes.
Well, I mean,
but for the sake of people's sanity, I know my mind's not going to be able to process that like right on cue. It's going to take me hours of research to figure out what I would want.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking my thought with Vela, like if I have to, I know, here I go taking the wheel. Sorry, backseat driver.
You're good.
So when I think Vela, I'm not worried about Vela being on the field. In fact, I think I want Vela being the one that's leaving the battlefield. So we need infinite mana. So we can infinitely cast it from the command zone.
Okay, I gotcha.
And what we can do quickly and easily in this build, we could go with Dramatic Reversal, and we get our Isochron Scepter. So we'll go Isochron Scepter, spelling. There it is. Okay. So we'll go Isochron Scepter. We'll add that card. So that and a handful of mana rocks to make sure that you're getting this online. Probably, I don't know, what was... Let's think. We're going to play that game. Might as well have Gilded Lotus, so we can know we've got Gilded Lotus for the sake of having colored mana, or mana of the right color, just for making sure we can cast Vela. If I can figure out how to spell Gilded, because I'm special.
Just for a random creature that has upside to it, Mirko Vosk.
Mirko Vosk?
Yeah. He's a good, janky, cheap creature that
How am I
has
spelling
some upside.
Mirko Vosk?
Mirko space Vosk.
Mirko Vosk, Mind Drinker. Is this the guy? Is this the guy does the thing?
He
does
the things. Yes, he does.
Is this fucking guy?
Yeah, that guy. He's so good, dude. He's got so much upside.
It's like he's hard to kill. He flies. He just connects and
exactly.
Nil. It's so rude.
Oh yeah, this one is a very good enchantment that I love to play. Is Painful Quandary, and I'm surprised it took people so long to play that card.
Yes, Biker, we're going non-budget. That's why there's an underground sea in there.
Yeah, this isn't like the community budget build that we're building for myself to take to a GP. I am not taking this deck anywhere.
No. This is Magical Christmas Land. I'm assuming all the things. Let's see. All right, so we got one of our infinite loop combos in here. We just need a few more mana rocks. So
let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to bounce back and forth between your screen and MTGO. Biker Boy said, I saw that and I thought you guys were drunk. No, I actually have not drank anything this evening. No, just water for me.
Yeah, I'm
No
keeping it.
brewski.
We're dealing with the plague in my house, so everybody's just.
Oh man, that sucks. That sucks.
God. You know, this is the only problem with the live stream. You get to see how horrible I am at spelling, and oh God,
Oh
what's wrong
well,
with me?
well, you know, Williamson, Biker Boy, they're used to it because that's how I am. I'm like misspelling everything, so it's cool.
The ultimate punt. All right, we got to shore up some lands here. We got some spicy lands, very, very spicy land, and straight up. So, like, how many lands will we run in something like this? Like, what's the full volume of lands? Need. Oh well.
Williamson said, "We're all judging you, Slivers."
Bring it on.
Maze of Ith, yeah.
Yeah, Maze of Ith, but that really doesn't even. I never even count Maze of Ith as a land slot because it's just like standing removal.
Oh yeah.
But let's say, I mean, like 46. You think total?
46 in total. Lands, yeah.
Zoinks! All right.
Well, hold on.
I'm so used to like I cut my margins so short on land mana. I like run 37 lands a lot of times.
I was gonna think like, you know, we might, because if you got the rocks too, I mean, you might be able to just go down to 40, or yeah, you might be able to get down to 37, even depending on how many rocks you throw in there.
Well, I mean, if the Isochron Dramatic Reversal combo, you're leaning on rocks. You need those to actually get that mana loop going. And let's see. And actually, we might as well put an altar. Yeah. Altar of Ashnod.
Oh, well, yeah, Westvale Abbey. That is a very good one.
Westvale Abbey?
Yeah.
Let's save that.
So the theme of the deck is you got Vela, and the whole deal of one stuff gets removed from the battlefield. It's pinging everybody. And then we're also making some quirky loops in the deck as well. And then
flavored with
and flavored with
some
stuff.
Stacks. So we've got like Winter Orb, Torpor Orb, just like abusing the field a bit and denying this. Also, Bubble Matrix, because as soon as someone sees this, they're like, "What?
Exactly.
What? What am I doing with that?" This is hilarious. Bubble Matrix just is hilarious to watch a board state build with Bubble Matrix out. It's too funny. Yeah, we are just making it up as we go.
Now, my question with Mirko Vosk, like, let's just say, because it just popped in my head with Bubble Matrix. Now, even if it deals 0 damage to a player, does it technically deal combat damage since they had no blockers?
Oh, no. The Bubble Matrix is all damage dealt to creatures reduced.
Oh, it's creatures, not players.
If a creature gets through, you know what?
I read that wrong.
Since that's going to be one of our little dirtily things here, I guess we could also go ahead and put in a Rogue's Passage. Rogues. Judging.
I know I keep saying these big clunkers, but to me, 5 mana in EDH isn't really a lot. But I do like Archfiend of Depravity just for the creature control. Which, for those that may not be familiar with it, it's a 5-drop, 5/4 flyer demon that at the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures they control, then they sacrifice the rest.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice one. Yeah. Each opponent's end step.
So you would definitely, if you have that on there, it's like, they're not going to be too happy.
Yeah, that's a good body to boot. That's a good one. I think artifacts we've got thought vessel. There's a rock.
I know we're not going zombies, but you just said you wanted to hear some stuff that I just typically run. So when it comes to zombies, you know, Undead Alchemist, I think that's like almost everybody if you're playing Demir zombies. But I know that's something I typically use. But I know we're not going mill either. That's not our target goal here.
Oh, you know what? I am in the event of, since we have Omen Machine, because I just want to see this thing be silly. This could get in the way of things like tutors. So why not? You like Infernal Tribute?
Infernal Tribute. I'm like
one where it's a triple black enchantment where you pay mana, you sacrifice a permanent in play to draw a card.
Oh, yes, that's perfectly fine.
All right.
I'm just gonna look it up because I'm thinking I'm having the picture in my head. Yep.
There it is. Yeah, pay 2 sack card in play, draw a card.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, that one that can get some of your this can actually get some of the things out of the way if they are obstructing your ability to do whatever you're trying to do. And then you draw cards and kind of get some value out of them.
How do you feel about, just for a random enchantment that, I mean, again, it's not a win con thing, but just for disruption to piss people off, is Memory Erosion?
Memory Erosion.
Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player puts top 2 of their library into their graveyard.
Opponent casts a spell, that player. Wow. That's cute. All right. Yeah. Oh, that's, yeah, this is that. It feels manic, but I'm okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's okay. I swear it is.
Not a vault in here.
Haven't really been paying attention if we've been putting any draw stuff, like how much draw stuff we have, if any, really. But Sphinx's Tutelage, that's another one I usually use for just enchantment, just for, you know. I mean, granted, it's for, I believe, target opponent. Yeah, not each, but target opponent whenever you draw. But yeah, Psychic Corrosion. I don't know if we would talk about that or not, but yeah, that's a good one too.
Zoinks. Actually, let's...
Bloodseeker. I just found it. That's the vampire stuff. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you may have that player lose 1 life.
Okay. Do you want to run that with Torp Orb in the main?
Yeah.
All right. Because if Torp Orb's out, that kind of negates the effect. But
yeah. Well, just in case we don't draw into it, you know, I guess I try to, in my mind, like, I know I drive people crazy with how my mind works, but I always like try to act like I'm not going to get certain stuff. So I try to play around it. You know what I mean? I guess, if that makes sense.
I think so. And swamps.
Oh, I love Erebos. Erebos, God of the Dead. Just for the no gain life aspect in case you're playing against those pesky life gainers.
Erebos. Oh, God. All right, I'm brain farting here. How am I spelling Erebos?
Erebos is Erebos.
Okay, God of the Dead.
Yep. And then this one is just another. Well, I don't think it's really worth much. I could be wrong, but I haven't really looked at the price in forever and a day. But Demir Cup Purse, I just like to put in there just for extra draw with the perk of it makes your opponent, whoever you're attacking, discard. Because it's just a 2/2 whenever it deals combat damage to a player. That player discards a card and you draw a card.
All right, sweet. All right, so let's see. Also, draw spells. Are you feeling like brainstorms, ponders, and preordains, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Propaganda to be a jerk. Yeah, that would definitely be you're being a jerk. Let's see.
All right, that brings us up to I put in 10 islands, 10 swamps. We're at 31 lands. At the 71 cards at the moment. We got 14 creatures, 1 planeswalker. We got Isochron Scepter, and we do have. So let's talk. Since we're at this stage, why don't we talk tutors and see where do we want to go in the tutor department? You want to just do some of the classics like
demonic and vampiric, and then maybe a diabolic. So there's 3 of them in there, I guess.
Tutor. Here, tutor. Diabolic tutor.
Diabolic Edict's a good card, but I mean, I wouldn't say for commander, but just for casual 1v1 stuff, I like that card.
Diabolic Edict. Oh, is that the sacrifice removal spell?
Yeah, just make them sack a creature. It's always nice when they just have one out there, and it's that one that's like, ha ha ha.
Right.
Well, guess what?
Eric's reminding us about Grim Tutor.
Grim Tutor, yeah.
From the Portal set, the $50 tutor. I mean, there's always Imperial Seal if you want to go with the $500 tutor.
Ristic Tutor?
Ristic Tutor or Ristic Study?
I don't know if there was a Ristic Tutor, but I know there's Ristic Study.
Let's look up Ristic. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Ristic. Ristic.
There's Ristic Study. Oh, there is a Ristic
Tutor. What? Now I want to just.
What is that?
Save it and see what it is. Ristic, is that an instant or a sorcery? Spells. Ristic Tutor. Unless any player pays to search your library for a card, then put that card into your hand. Huh.
Well, I mean, it's just worth it. I mean, I guess just to throw it in there. The only downside is, you have to be able to play it and no one can counter it.
Yeah, that's the downside there. I don't know, my Ristic Tutor being the 89-cent card is probably why. If we lean into the Mana Vortex and we're denying mana sources, it's a thing, but it's just, I don't know, it feels like it's going to come up short. Ristic Studies, that's another thing.
Machias, yes. Or Machias, how the hell you pronounce it?
Machias.
I would hate for some like English professor to like watch one of my streams because they'd be like wanting to just beat the crap out of me. Like, you do not know how to speak.
It just auto block you.
My God.
Oh, I'm just gonna up those basics a little bit.
All right, where am I at?
So you know what? Let's go ahead and say Mystical Tutor and call that our tutor package.
Did we say Grave Pact?
Yes. Is that going to? Does it matter if it's dying or going to the graveyard?
Whenever a creature you control dies, each other player sacks a creature.
Grave Pact. Yeah, because we've got 2 good sacrifice outlets here. Add that. And you know what? Since it is getting a reprint, let's go ahead for Phyrexian Altar.
And this is an option that I just like to throw in there for sacking creatures to draw stuff. I don't know if it'll fit or not, or if it's worth putting in, but just to throw it out there is Vampiric Rites, just because it's a 1-drop enchantment.
Yeah, I like Vampiric Rites. Okay, so let's see. We're at 37 lands and 14 creatures. We got 86 cards total, so now it's starting to get tight.
Phyrexian Reclamation. Did we say that one already or no?
Oh, Mancave and Triskelion. And then what happens is if we do have the Torp Orb effect, then there's actually no... We got the sack. It doesn't matter. I keep getting hung up on Torp Orb. Gotta let it go. Hey, it's unhallowed.
Did you hear me, though, about Phyrexian Reclamation? Mr. Johnny.
All right. Phyrexian Reclamation.
Just because you're able to bring stuff back.
Oh, God, yeah. I love that enchantment. That was I loved how it's... What is it? It went... When we got to Amonkhet and everyone's playing Scarab God, that's when it spiked up to like 250. I remember that card being 50 cents for the longest time. It's like, but this is such a good card.
Exactly. That's why I was going. I know. I got mine forever ago. I'm like, heck yeah. Like, that card's beast.
Phyrexian Reclamation. Okay.
Now, no, we don't really need that.
And that's funny. Like, this is... Hang on. Now, is Phyrexian Altar... Oh, wow. See, this is listing... If Goldfish is listing this at 40, Card Kingdom's selling this version for 25. eBay's listing for over 40. I'll be interested to see what happens with that. What? Although there was an interesting thing going on. I'm going to talk about Rudy again because I know that's how I lose followers. But Rudy was actually talking about in a recent video how he sees a correlation between a downturn in Bitcoin and the number of people who are like trying to link up with him for sales to sell him collections. And Bitcoin took another hit today. It got down to the 4,300 mark or something like that. It dropped another 10% versus the 20% it already fell.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if the market activity in real life has an effect on the actual collecting, like all these little hoarders that were buying up all these collections and buying out the market for Magic cards, and then they're just in it for the short game and they don't actually play the game.
Right.
I'll be curious to see how that affects things, because if that does affect the secondary market and it tanks prices, it makes Ultimate Masters look a little more sour. Let's see. We've got ridiculous tutors. Grim Tutor is a $200 tutor. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. So there is that.
Gotta run those dollar bills.
And you know what's sad is that it's always because of pictures. I always remember stuff because of pictures. I do know 110% that I had a few copies of that card when I was younger, before I got rid of my collection.
No.
Yeah, I don't remember how many, but I know I had more than 2. I do remember that.
All right, so Mancave, Unhallowed, and Triskelion for an infinite something, another redundancy. Triskelion. Save. Oh, we got 11 cards to go at that point.
So I'm throwing this out here again. It doesn't have to go in. I'll let you be the judge of that. But this is just another enchantment that I feel is very overlooked. And to a degree, I know some people will say it's one-dimensional, but it's very, very good if there's no response to it, which is Tainted Remedy.
Yeah. That gets, but yeah, okay, Tainted Remedy for some spice. Tainted Remedy. Where is that? That's an enchantment, right?
Yep.
If an opponent would gain life, that player loses that much life. Yeah, that gets around those little life gain goobers are gonna be trying to do some shenanigans. Yep. That's yeah.
Yep.
All right. Got 9 more cards to go here. Let's see. What do we want to put in here? We got Mancave and Triskelion for an infinite loop. Phyrexian Altar's in there because, well, it's getting reprinted, so let's say we have access to it. He says as Underground Sea and Grim Tutor are in here. Let's see. This is a hot pile. I'm liking where this is going. We've got Isochron Scepter with Dramatic Reversal kind of shenanigans. But then, let's see, are there any other instance that we'd like to stick on the Isochron just for giggles? Or do we want to beef up the creatures here so we can have some kind of...
I was gonna say, I'm trying to look because I'm like, okay, let's see, we got 16 creatures. And I have, everybody has like their bad habits, I guess you could say, if you want to call them a bad habit, I guess just habits in general. And I mean, 16 is really not bad, but I think we might need some more.
Something on the lower end.
Yeah. Now I'm just trying to
like see. We've got instant sorcery, like something to put out tokens.
Well,
Tarland.
How many let's see,
like
how many zombies do we got? I know I don't want to go too zombie heavy, but I'm just trying to think.
You got Gravecrawler is one of them.
Yeah, we don't got enough, so it's not really worth it. Because we got just Alchemist, Gravecrawler.
I mean, I like what Archfiend is doing. Archfiend of Depravity is
oh yeah, it's so good for
it's sweet.
So freaking cheap. I think it's only like a freaking 25-cent card. Something like that.
Poor Eric. Cheap. All of his Williamson's, all of my Demir decks become zombie decks. Well, that's a matter of self-control, my good friend.
That's me. That's why I'm like, because as soon as, we're talking about, what could we do? Because he says tokens. I go, bring zombies back. And I'm like, never mind. That's like, that's me all day. I'm like,
All I can think of is, I mean, if we buff up our instant speed spells and put a Tarlan, the goofy one that does the whole thing with the whatchamacallit. Wait, God, what is it? It's from M13. Back when Krinko came out.
What card are we talking about here? Because as soon as I heard M13, I'm like, okay, now my brain's kind of jumping on, trying to figure it out.
It is a merfolk. Is Cody still here, or did he head out?
I don't know.
I think it's a merfolk, and it makes drakes.
Oh, gosh, dang it.
Do you know?
I know exactly. No, yeah, Tarland, exactly. Yes, that is exactly it.
How would we spell that? Tariel? No.
Tarland.
Tarl.
Yes, that is exactly it. Williamson is on it, per usual.
The what?
While my brain farts, Williamson's is there to pick up the pieces.
That's Harland, the Drake dude. Yeah, that's the spelling's off. I can't remember how it was spelled.
I know I got it on here. Let me. I know I got it on MTGO. I know I do. Come on, load up. Talrand. That's what it is. Talrand. Talrand, not Tarland. That's my mistake. Talrand.
Wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yep. Got it.
So Tarland, that's cheeky. All right, so if we go Tarland, Talrand.
Yeah.
Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, create. Now, does that work with Icecrown Scepter? Is that something like, let's see, we go with Icecrown that makes a copy. Is it considered casting? You may copy the exile spell. If you do, you may cast it. Yeah, so you can make a Drake every time you fire off an Icecrown Scepter. If we got enough, you got 8 more spells to go. So we could do, what do we got for instant speed kind of stuff? 2 of the tutors are instant speed already. Brainstorm's at instant speed. Vampiric's at instant speed. Dramatic's at instant speed. Evacuation is, but then evacuation is also a 5 cost. So,
Trying to just go through some stuff here, but I can't really find anything that would be instant.
I mean, other than counter spells, we could run some. Oh, I heard about this one. There's a fun combo where you can copy artifact, an Isochron Scepter, and so you can have Dramatic Reversal and Swan Song, and I guess you stack them right, and you can make infinite birds.
Oh man, that'd just be
by countering your own dramatic reversals, but you just cast a dramatic reversal in response to untap it and cast another Swan Song, and it's just, yeah. Dark Ritual. Ooh.
Yeah. Dark Ritual.
Okay.
How did we forget that?
Let's just go with the classic. Because All right, Dark Ritual.
Oh, damn it. Why is it got to be coming towards the tail end? Because I'm like coming across them. Like I'm a super, like, I'm an enchantment fanboy. So I'm constantly going, ooh, how can I piss off everybody? It's like Forest Ferutian. That's another solid enchantment card that pisses everybody off because it sounds good at the time, but it's whenever an opponent casts a spell, then they draw 7 cards. So
yeah, I added in 2 counter spells, Swan Song and I think legit. Oh no, Dark Ritual and Swan Song. So we've got room for 6 more cards. We're at 38 lands. That's fine. 38 will be fine. We got some rocks. This is not the optimized brew. Phyrexian Arena. You want some Phyrexian Arena for card draw there?
Oh yeah. I can go with some arena action.
All right. 17 creatures. Capacity to make flying idiots. Lots of tutors.
Chainer's Edict.
Chainer's Edict. Grave Pact. Oh my god. Good stuff. Man, they better reprint Rhystic Study and Ultimate Masters for the love of God. They've like been bringing all these Christmas presents in. $14 common blows my mind.
You said a $14 common?
Yeah.
For the non-foil?
For the non-foil.
That's insane.
I don't even want to. I don't want to. Wait, is there a foil version? There must be a foil version.
I'm reading the chat and I'm like, I'm not disagreeing with Biker Boy at all. I'm just trying to think if it makes sense with where we're at and what we have left. Because he was talking about, I can't think of what enchantment that would be, but he said there's an enchantment that gives creatures infect and trample. And then Nev's Disc, which I do like Nev's Disc because it's definitely a solid board wipe.
Is infect an enchantment that gives creatures infect and trample? Or is he thinking of, there's a green card that does that? It's kind of like I know, what is it? It's a green card. I forget the name of it, but basically everything gets a +1/+1 buff, gets infect and trample or something like that. And then it was the infect version of. Now, Tainted Strike was an instant speed. That was one of those like little combat tricks that you kind of sneak in. This one, I think, was this card was, I think it was double green, 2 colorless, and you had to, God, is it? I can't go digging in the collection right now. But I think it was green. I know what you're thinking, Biker Boy. I think that's, but I'm pretty sure, I thought it was a green sorcery, like Overrun.
Well, here's a zombie that can reanimate itself that I wasn't thinking about. Hakan Stromgald Scourge.
What?
Haakon, comma Stromgald or Gald.
Oh, yeah, Stromgald Scourge. Avatar or Scourge?
Scourge. So you could just like sacrifice it or whatever and then bring it back.
Oh. Graveyard. But not from anywhere else.
Right.
Then you may play night cards from your graveyard whenever. How did. Yeah, the commander that never could be because you can't get it to the graveyard.
Yeah.
Whenever Hakan is put into the graveyard from play, you lose 2 life.
Corpse Augur. That's what Biker Boy is saying. And that's not ringing a bell for me.
Corpse Augur. Oh, the Zombie Wizard. Okay. From Commander, the Anthologies 15. Whenever he dies, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of creature cards in target player's graveyard. He could be funky. Where are we? We got 3 more cards to go here.
I'm trying to not look at any more enchantments. I keep going. I got it. I'm like, I gotta get creatures. I'm like,
creatures or instants. Something. There's possible. What is it? Diabolic Edict.
You do Carrion Feeder for creatures. That way you can just sack stuff automatically. Sack creatures automatically, I should say. You don't have to worry about paying for anything to remove them off the battlefield.
Carrion feeder. Oh, there you go. Vault Soul Ring. Wait, did I not get Gilded Lotus in here? Oh, my brain fell out. All right.
I'm just trying to... I'm trying to look at something more on the cheap side because I know there's some very good black cards, but they just have high CMC. So I'm trying to... Oh, duh, Bloodghast.
Bloodghast. All right. Bloodghast, add card, save. All right. So the tricky part is we're at our 100.
Okay.
The question is, do we make cuts? Is there anything you can think of that you definitely want in here? Vela. So you got your Bloodsoaked Champion, your Carrion Feeder, Gravecrawler. Cackling Fiend.
Cackling Fiend. Such a goof.
Isn't that...
It's the one drop that you can give it the Unleash to give it
Rakdos?
+1/+1.
I think he's Rakdos.
He's
Rakdos. I don't think we're allowed to put him in here.
No.
Cabal Interrogator. 14,000. You guys are nuts. Yes. Here's our $1,400 deck.
That's right. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
High ballers.
It's like, well, you see, this is what, I'm an advocate for brewing a deck that is way beyond your means, because it's a lot. Once it feels better when you can come down, you take the Underground Sea out here. It's like, oh, okay, it's only an $800 deck.
It's still only 800.
Take out the Grim Tutor. Oh, okay, it's only a $600 deck. It's a psychological thing, just to kind of get you past that mental block of, I can't afford my rent this month.
Yeah. I don't know, man. To be honest, because I'm thinking in my head. I mean, I was thinking about Sig to try to cut it, but I'm like, but it's a good 2-drop because I'm looking at our mana curve on our creatures, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that one's like...
And if an opponent loses 3 or more life this turn, you get some card draw. It's a thing. Marco Vosk, Macias.
Yeah, there's definitely some heavy lifters in the creature department, but it's just getting them out. But
well, mana rock wise, we've got our...
I was also thinking too that because of our creatures being so big, but what would you think about adding in Heartless Summoning? If we're going off of, we're just trying to use the creature's abilities and not really worried about them dealing lethal.
Yeah, I'm down with that. What would you want to make a cut in? Like if we had to cut in any enchantments here.
Let's see. Well, as much as I like Waste Not, we don't have a lot of hand control, do we not? I mean,
not really.
Okay, so we could get rid of Waste Not then. Williamson says, this deck, so many fun things to do. It's a thing.
It's a pile. We turn land sideways.
Yay!
We also destroy everyone's lands with the mana vortex because we're crazy. Wait, what was the card?
Heartless Summoning.
There it is.
Because it allows it cheapens up your creature's CMC by 2, but gives them -1. But when you're playing big clunkers and stuff, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and even Sig would survive it. Let's see. Heartless Summoning takes out. Oh, the creatures only get -1/-1.
Yeah,
that's not bad. I don't know why I kept thinking it would give them all -2/-2. I tried making a Frontier deck with this card.
Oh, it's so
you remember
good.
Frontier?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a thing again. It's just not gonna be called Frontier. They're gonna, they're gonna repackage it. Look, it's the super duper sweet format, whatever it is.
It's a waste of your time. Yeah.
Yay.
Womp womp
Womp.
Yeah, I think that's a pile. There it is. It's a rough draft.
Yeah, it's a very solid draft.
We could say we just built a $1,400 dollar deck.
That's right.
What were we thinking? Yeah, it does feel clunky. This is what happens when more than one mind build a deck.
Oh gosh, and it doesn't help that I'm like a scatterbrain, so I mean, you guys got to witness that live.
You're welcome. Oh, all right. That's a brew. Okay, so yes, we have a way to infinite loop some mana. We have a way to sacrifice Vela. So one of the win cons will be you cast Vela, you sacrifice Vela, you have all the mana in the world, you recast Vela, loop, 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 and everyone dies. Then we've got the Mancave, the Unhollow Triskelion combo where we have sacrifice outlets.
Biker Boy says, I still don't get what the deck's all about. I feel like it's all over the place.
It's a hot mess.
Again, this you are now in the mind of me, okay? My mind is all over the place, okay? I do a lot of things. Like when I'm not a very good one-track mind builder. It's just I never have been able to think that way. I always think of piecing together different things, and this is what you get. Is a hodgepodge of scatterbrain.
So for those, we're gonna need to wrap up here in a few minutes here. But for those of you playing at home, if you want to take a closer look at this deck, and like, I guess it's on MTG Goldfish. If you look for Eric's favorite deck by Johnny Slivers, you'll be able to find the deck. And do they have the option for comments? Can people make comments? Edit deck. Oh, you know what? Go back to edit deck. I'm gonna put this on my tapped out account as well. So let's go ahead and get that copied.
I'm just thinking about what some people actually would think when they'd see this deck. They'd go, what the hell was this guy?
The hell are you doing?
Or what was he smoking on before he decided to make this deck? Oh, this looks good. Ah, this is good. This works. Yeah, here we go.
Like, oh, yeah. Critters make combos. Creatures, and Mike and Trike.
Yes.
Tapped out that. Oh, you know what, Eric? Let's do this. We're gonna go to tapped out. Let me go ahead and Where is it? Deck builder. Let's build a deck. We're gonna do this. We're doing this. Advanced browse, add deck. Where is it? Yeah. All right. Eric's favorite deck. We'll go Commander.
No, you're right. They won't. Willington says they will never see you coming. No.
No, we'll never see us coming.
No, they're like, where is he going with this? I'm trying to win. And they're like, how? How is he trying to win? Any means necessary.
Okay, I don't... Was Vela in that list? No. Card name, we need Vela. Add to the main board. That should be at the bottom. And what did they do? Tapped out does this thing where you have to CMDR, yeah. CMDR.
Excuse me.
We're CMDR. We'll scroll down here. Show competitive meter. Yes.
Oh God. Well, let's see how uncompetitive it is. Yay.
And what else? Is private? No. Is prototype? No. Is the final copy? His draft appears on profile? Yes. Ignore suggestions? No. Sync with public acquire board? No. Disable revisions? No. Show other decks? Sure. Why not?
This should just be called Drive Brewers Crazy, because they're going to look at this and go, why? Why?
Check prototype box when your deck is over. We're over 100 cards? Wait, what? What happened here? That's not right.
What did it say?
It said it's over 100 cards. What did I do wrong here? Oh, no. Wait a second. No, that's right. We'll get there. We'll find it. We'll figure it out. Oh, Vela's already in there.
That would be why.
Pardon me. I had a major brain fart. Okay.
Oh, you're good.
MDR. Okay, let's try this again. We want to see save. Here it is.
All right.
And now we get the stats.
In all its glory.
Yeah. What's the average? TCG player price. Huh?
That can't be right.
That can't be right. Where's Underground Sea is in there? Oh, that must be off of ticks. They're like you. They're like
yeah. Oh
like,
yeah.
You don't own that card.
I was like, there is no way. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, it takes a minute for that meter to show up. That meter is like, I ran that meter by. It's 69% competitive.
Oh my God! No way.
Get out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
This is ridiculous.
There's no way.
God. Yeah, so I went to the competitive EDH subreddit and I asked them about this meter. Like, what do you think of this meter? Is it any good? People, I love the response. It's dog shit wrapped in unicorn poop. Jedi tears. So it's completely unreliable. Like my side stack deck I put in here says 100% competitive, and I know that's not true because I definitely don't have the best counterspell package going on. So, good lord!
Oh my God, the fact that this got a 69, I'll take it.
There you go. You're winning, Eric.
Yay!
You got the 69% approval stamp.
I got a 60. That's right, 69% approval of scatterbrained madness.
So there, if you go to tappedout.net, you look for Johnny Slivers and look for Eric's favorite deck. You can go in there to the comments section and tell us how awful it really is.
And say, man, you guys are just all over the place. Yep.
Yeah, it's a hot mess. Well, let's get out of this screen share. So there it is. That was an hour and a half of this. So I appreciate you all who showed up. Thank you. It was great having you. Tell your friends. You know, I don't. You tell whoever you want. this train wreck. This is bi-weekly train wreck, so it can only get worse.
Okay. Oh, it was a great time.
Well, Eric, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
Of course.
And yeah, if anyone has any suggestions for somebody that you want to have on here to brew a deck that they loathe, then yes, that's what I'm here for. The nighttime streams are for brewing decks that people can't stand. Don't worry, Eric, next time you're on, we'll do mono blue.
Oh, yay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'll need some beer for that.
Rakdos next week. Depends on who we would. Oh, well, next week will be Tin Street. This is basically Tin Street is like in the main alley, and I'm a block over in like a back door. So this is kind of like a generic tweet goes out. It's like getting a Post-it note. You'll hear about this. It'll be like a Post-it note, and this is what happens here. It'll be a real exclusive insiders club that most people don't want to go to. So, thank you for joining me at Cackling Carnarium. This is Johnny Slivers, Eric from Mancave TV.
Adios, everybody.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.